In the world of emergency medicine and trauma, there is often a thin line between life and death.
And the people who walk that line every day are some of the unsung heroes of our medical world.
Or I don't know, that thing, that magic. You see it in the movies.
So welcome everybody. We're joined here with Adam. He is a current student at Hutchinson Community College, and he is a current respiratory therapist. So, Adam, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I'm 54, married, live here in Hutch, and I am a respiratory therapist for the last 18 years. I moved here from California, and I attended Concord Career College to get my associates in science with respiratory care. What brought you to respiratory therapy? To be honest, I didn't know what respiratory was. All I had ever heard about it was from watching the show ER. They would say, call respiratory for a breathing treatment. Did not really know anything more than that. I wanted to be an RN.
3.
Was there a type of facility specifically? I wanted a wide range of advanced skill training. I just wanted the action. Right. I wanted to be in the ER, be in NICU, D-sections, right. Is there anything you'd like to add to that? I'd like to add that I did not want to work as sniff. The people that trained me when I was in school always looked down their noses at sniffs. Just monitor, vent, and wrote down the settings every 4 hours.
4.
If you could go back in time, I'd tell myself to not attend a high-priced career college. I'd go to a community college that offered a 2-year program and save a ton of money. Respiratory therapy is specialized, like I said before. There's 120-some thousand of us doing it. Seriously, if I could do it over, I would travel the world, work in the countries that have allowed respiratory as a specialized area. Work in small clinics, and I deal with the kids and the old timers, COPD and asthmatics.
5.
Do you have any stories to tell? You put any 2 RTs together and there's story time. A happy 100 would be any successful C-section or delivery without complications. But I was pretty new to the field, and an 18-year-old girl came in with an asthma attack, and breathing treatments, and steroid shots, and everything. I eventually convinced her that she was going to have to be intubated or she would die. And it took some heavy pressuring because she'd been an asthmatic all of her life and she did not want to be intubated. We did, and that was where the fun began. It just triggered every alarm you could imagine, and then the vent was malfunctioning, and I bagged in by hand and an additional 20 treatments over the next 8 hours. And only until they finally came down and saw what I was dealing with did they start to act. However, the story does have a happy ending in that she walked out on her own 2 feet, and I saw her a couple of years later as a student at that hospital saying that she was inspired to become an RT based on that night. Do you have any final words of wisdom? Number 1, get to know your CNA that you work with, because they will give you the most up-to-date information. Number 2, being in Kansas has taught me that there are a number of different sized hospitals. In Southern California, everything was large. Large could mean 30 RTs on staff all the way up to 200. Out here, it's mostly small to non-existent. I will take my small hospitals over the large ones any day now. feel much more connected to the process. I can work from floor care to whatever they have as an ICU, get called to ER, and then have to go to a C-section or a delivery. Chances are, if anything goes south, they're going to ship that patient off to one of the larger hospitals, and then if you work there, you're in a position of inheriting other people's work. Number 3, accidents happen. The very first code that I was involved in as a full RT, I walked in on it and saw a couple of CNAs bagging the patient. I heard the whoosh of a flush flow meter and just went to investigate and discovered that they were bagging this patient what they thought was 100% oxygen, but in their nervousness and haste they forgot to hook up the flow meter, so they were just bagging with the pressure of the ambu bag. It happened. And lastly, you'll have to make up your mind early on if you want to participate in ending someone's life, i.e. terminal extubation. Just know that it will present itself in your path at some point. And where the staff bathrooms are, wherever you work in the hospital you're assigned to.